Hello everyone, this is Zach again. Today I'm just going to be talking about joseki and overplays. This is going to be a little bit of a briefer lecture because both of these, I guess you could say, at least with overplays, there's so many different ways overplays are played, and it's such a complex thing that going into it too much could take a really long time. So I'm just going to give you kind of an example and a general statement of what overplays are, what to do about them or whatever. And then I'm just going to go over what to do when your opponent doesn't follow joseki. And then I'm going to answer the question that I haven't answered from my first video I posted. So anyways, first for overplays. In case you don't know what overplay is, an overplay is just where your opponent makes a move trying to get more than he should. Like, let's say he overextends or something, and he's trying to get more points or whatever in a certain area. What makes it an overplay is because you can punish him for trying to get too much. So I'm going to go ahead and give an example. Let's actually do it over here. So this overplay actually is very hard to catch, and it's kind of complex, so I'm not going to go through all the variations. But it's when black does a double extension instead of just a normal 1-point extension that you see mostly. The reason I say this is overplay is because white can push down later like this. The only option for white is to hane under, because if he hanes over, white will just play in, and now black has to come back here, and then white can just ladder. So let's go under. Then white has a tsuji here, where he can go like this. I'm not going to go through all the variations here because there are a lot. I'm going to go through the simplest one, which is this. Then black needs to block this. And then white has this tsuji that he can use later, maybe if he has a stone over here or something. Black's best option is just to go under, and then white can jump out and create a big moyo in this area, while black didn't gain it very much. This is why it's considered an overplay, because white can push him down like this. And he doesn't have to do it right away either. It's not a big overplay. If black does this wrong though, he could end up killing one of his groups. But that's a long variation, I'm not going to go into it right now. This is actually covered in a lecture by Go Commentary, and so I'll put a link in the description to that video. But yeah, there's many variations, and actually, Kodo's Joseki Dictionary actually says this isn't an overplay, which I disagree with, especially since the Go Commentary guy says so. I'm also supposing that it is an overplay. Anyway, so basically, overplay, just trying to get too much in a certain area. You can punish it in a variety of ways. There's not really like a certain set way you can punish overplays, because overplays are so wide and diverse, and there's so many different types of overplays you could do throughout the game in joseki or just in the center of the board fighting and stuff. It's just you really can't I can't explain it with just one lecture or whatever, because overplays happen all the time. It's just trying to get too much, and you can make them pay somehow. So anyways, this isn't actually an overplay, but I'm going to go ahead and go over it anyways. The variation where when you approach a stone, black does this large knight, okema, and this isn't actually an overplay, this is joseki, but one thing you never want to do with overplays, let's just say is to be submissive and just let your opponent have it, because then they'll gain more than you, obviously. So an example of this would just be to play out a normal variation like this. And now this is better for black than it is than black should have gotten, because instead of having the stone here like normal, now he has it a step further, which is nicer for black, especially since he's strong with these two stones. He wants to have a longer extension. So this is better than black should have. So this would be like being too submissive. Also, if you're playing in a handicap game and you're the stronger person, I would recommend playing that extension I showed over here and this move right here. If you're playing against someone, because they might end up being submissive, and you will most likely gain more out of it. That's good to know also for handicap games. When you are the person who is getting played against by the handy, you a lot of times need to play overplays to try to compensate for your lack of points that you get at the beginning of the game. Especially if your opponent doesn't know certain variations. So, in case you don't know, in this case, a common way of combating this is just to go into the corner, which might look strange at first because it looks like maybe black can pawn it like this, and then he'll be very small, but he actually can't, because similar to a variation I showed previously, white can go down first, and then cut, and there's no good response for black. Either these three stones are going to die, or this stone's going to die. And white's going to gain a lot, and black's not going to really have anything. You can try to pincer this stone, but there's going to be a lot of odds with it later. So he would have to Nobi, and then white can either go down here right away, or he can push once more. And then if black goes here, white can go. Did I add a stone? Yeah. Oops, my bad. Thought I added a stone. And so, calling for white to push. If black plays here, then white will just breach under. And then since he's alive in the corner, then he'll come out and threaten this cut right here, so black will need to protect against that, and then he can back off somehow. And if white didn't play this way, then it would be too good for black, because black would conceal white to the corner and be taking the stones, so he needs to create something with these stones also. Anyways, yeah, so that's like my quick thing on overplays. Basically, you don't want to be submissive when your opponent overplays. Unless though, if you are the one with a big handy, sometimes if your opponent plays an overplay and you aren't really sure how to punish it, and it looks kind of like it could get into a complicated variation, a lot of times it's not good to make it complicated like that, because then you might end up dying or putting yourself in a weak situation. So you want to be careful when you have a lot of handy trying to punish your opponent for overplays, because if you don't actually know how to punish him, you could just help him more. Anyways, so now I'm just going to go into when your opponent doesn't follow joseki. First I'm going to say that following joseki is not always the correct thing to do. If you get approached, you don't always just want to respond this way, or whatever. Sometimes you don't want to respond at all. Even though you will get a local loss because you get double pincered, there might be a more urgent part of the board. So it's not always good to play joseki. For instance, let's say that white has a double wing, just say it's like this, then, oh sorry, not, if black goes like this, white, when he has a double wing, should play the normal move, which is considered best, which is to jump out this way, and then black would go under. And instead he should go under like this, which is generally considered bad because you're letting yourself get surrounded and black gets to connect and seal you in. But because of the double wing, now white can just cut. Also, a lot of things you see this a lot where someone might Atari, but this just makes your opponent stronger. So it's better to just plain cut. And anyways, now black's going to have a lot of problems with trying to deal with both of these groups at the same time because these two stones are pincering them. So following joseki isn't always the correct way to go. I'm going to put these away. But if your opponent, let's say they do something crazy, like... Also, not all the time, sometimes just because something looks weird doesn't always mean that it is incorrect. Like this move actually can be joseki for white if it's a sanron-sei. So let's say it's like this. This is something that I think, I'm trying to remember who, it's one of the top pros. I think he's in China. It's not Guli. I'm not completely sure what his name is again, but he's one of the top pros, and he created this way to combat this sanron-sei, instead of like going into the corner or double pincering or something. And even though it looks really strange, it actually is a good method against the sanron-sei. So even if something looks really weird and seems to go against certain Go theories and stuff, doesn't mean it's always not joseki. But back to what I was saying. Let's say your opponent does do something really strange, and he, like, I don't know, plays something like this, which isn't joseki. Well, first just think, okay, so what's weak, what needs to get strong, how can I attack him, just the general stuff that you should be thinking in almost every circumstance. And also like shape moves. So here, shape move is almost always this move. So it's good to just go with standard things. So you usually just want to do this because then you make these two stones strong, and these stones still aren't strong enough to pincer or anything, because then, well, I'm not completely sure what black would do here, but he could probably just jump out like this, or maybe go over or something. These two stones would be in danger, and this stone would also be in danger. So first, white would need to jump out or something, and then you can prevent it tiger's mouth, maybe peep, and then you can go ahead and make yourself strong. Black is very strong over here. He's pretty strong over here, and white is just floating in the center, not getting any points. So if your opponent does do something really crazy, something that you're not used to seeing, whatever, just follow with what's normal, what you know from experience, or whatever, from books or whatever. That's generally the best moves to make. You know, when you have this shape, you always want to make this iron pillar. So just go ahead and go with the standard moves, and generally it'll turn out good for you. This may not always be the case, but in most cases it is. So that's it for this lecture. I'm just going to go over the question that I asked you guys a little while ago, which was this invasion by white, cross-cut, and then I think this was how I had it, or maybe I had it this way. I think I had it this way, yeah. So then I asked you what is best for black when white does this move, and I gave you the option of this Atari, or this Nobi. And the answer to this question actually isn't, well, I guess you could say set, because there is actually no right answer. It really just depends on what you're trying to do. The most common answer is this one, because you seal white in. Then the proper response here for white is to Nobi here to make life, and then black will go ahead and cover white in, and then white will just make life in the corner, like so. And then that's basically it. Black doesn't need to do anything else because it'll just be gote. So this is a way to just seal them into the corner. If, however, you want the corner more than the side, then these two moves are generally what you pick. If this move, then white should not play here, because then black will just no-be, and now white will be on the second line. So instead, white should Atari this way. Black should just capture the stone. White will go over. Black will connect. And white will prevent the cut. So, and black could peep also, just to make it so that white's shape is heavier. So, this way, excuse me, white is out, so this may not be preferable for black, but if this side is not as important as the corner, then this could be a way that black could play. But in most cases, like I said, this move for black right here is generally what black wants to do because he seals him in. Let me go over the other variation. Let me see if I can remember how it was. So this wasn't here. Stone's here, here. Let me think. There's a stone right here. Black stone's here. Okay. So then, if black goes right here, which was the other choice I gave you, white should just no-be. Then black will no-be also. Let's take this one. And then the reason why you no-be here is because it gives white an extra liberty. So now he can do this move, and black can't capture the two stones. So now black has to no-be up, and then white has the choice of just Atarying again like this, or he can do this also, where white will go here, black will, sorry, then right here, and then it's best for white to push, because otherwise this will become centered for white and then he'll be very strong. So he needs to push, white will Atari, black will capture, and then right here white can choose what he wants to do. He can choose to, you know, here, go here, or here, or whatever he wants to do, based on what's most important. Or he can just do this or whatever. If he does do this, then black would just cut through, white would just turn it back, and then, it's like this, and then black should close up, and then white can block from the side if he wants to. Anyways, so these are the variations for this. Like I said, it was kind of a trick question because there isn't really a right answer. This move right here is generally best because it seals him in, but if you want the corner more than the side, then the other variations can be played also. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I should be coming out with some more soon. And if you guys had any questions or anything, please leave a comment or send me a message. If you like it, please subscribe and like the video. And I'll see you guys all later.